Hey pipe smokers, Bradley00 here. Today I'm going to present another tobacco review, and today's featured blend is GLP's Old London Series Navigator. Let me go ahead and read the tin description. Navigator. For centuries, men of the sea have known the pleasures of fine Virginia tobaccos, pressed and aged with a drop of rum. The addition of rich, dark-fired Kentucky leaf brings a new dimension to the flavor and aroma of this timeless combination. Chart your course for a new world of enjoyment, light a bowl, and set sail with Navigator. Okay, let's go ahead and take a close-up look at this blend.
Okay, here's a look at the tin. Let's take a look inside. There you go. That's a good look. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull a flake out. They're all kind of broken up at this point, but let's see what I can do. And there you go.
Okay, on to the review. Now, the topping, of course, is rum. And I must say, like all of the rum top Pease blends I've tried in the past, this one gives you an element of variability, let's say, because it's really rum, distilled spirits on this blend. It's not, rum flavored topping or what have you. And so basically what that means for the smoker is that you get to choose how big a part you want the rum to play, because of course being alcohol, it evaporates very quickly. So if you want that sort of alcoholic tang to the smoke, you can go ahead and pack your bowl straight out of the tin. If you prefer that sort of evaporated sweetness that you get when you leave it out, go ahead and do that. You just leave it out for a little bit and then pack your bowl, and you'll find that it just leaves a residual sort of rum Swedish flavor behind, and that alcoholic tang is not present. So it's really up to you, and I like it both ways. It's really just kind of how I feel on that day. Okay, now for the tasting notes. This one starts off with a nice dynamic Virginia flavor, characteristic of basically all Pease blends that I've tried. Almost all of them, I must say. Have a really wonderful Virginia flavors, very like buoyant and really kind of like crackling with flavor all over the place. It has a lot of depth in bowl flavor, which is really fantastic. So you've got those Virginia flavors, and then you've got the added sweetness and or alcoholic tang from the rum topping. This one lacks the red Virginia flavors that I find are very forward in like most Pease blends. I can't say for sure if this does or doesn't have red Virginia in it, but if it does, it's a very, very small quantity, and I don't detect it whatsoever in the flavor. Early on in the bowl, this one reminds me a little bit of Mac Baron Navy Flake in the sense that it's got that kind of extra Swedish rum topping, and the burley kind of pitches in a little bit, very gently, to just add a little bit of boldness and depth. Once this one is really going and you're solidly into the first third of the bowl, the Dark Fire Kentucky sort of, it gently pokes its head up here and there. It never really gets in the way of the rum and the Virginia flavors, but it just adds a little extra something going along in the background, a little bit of smoky flavor, a little woody, sort of cedar-like flavor as well. Very, very nice at this point. I also get, strangely enough, a weird, and I've only experienced this in the first third, a very weird sort of almost fishy-like flavor. But I must say, it's actually kind of interesting and neat, and it doesn't detract from the smoke in any way. I just found it, a little strange, but I noticed it over the course of many, many bowls, so, it is a thing, at least for me. The Virginia flavor here are they're not necessarily as complex as other Pease Virginias are, but they're just good. They've got lots and lots of flavor. That flavor doesn't necessarily change a whole lot, but it's very, very good. I would describe it as sort of a brown like Virginia flavor, and I don't mean that's what I think the leaf is or whatever, but I generally think of like, red, really deep flavors, and then I think of like your bright Virginias that are like citrusy and light flavor. This is like sort of in the middle somewhere, but I think it works very, very well. Okay, now let's move into the halfway point of the bowl. Sweet, spicy, very, very smooth, and now the Dark Fire Kentucky is starting to not take over, but sort of step up a little bit and become a little bit more prominent in the flavor. It's once again imparting a slightly smoky, slightly woody flavor, and another point that I must say is that some of these flavors are very much reminiscent of a peated Scotch, sort of sweet and smoky. Also, I should point out that unlike many Virginia heavy blends, this one does not bother me much when I smoke it hard. In fact, I must say, this one yields some bigger, bolder flavors when smoked with a little bit of a heavier puff, without the bite or discomfort, which is, very nice, very surprising. Let's now talk about the finish. The final third starts off with just a tremendous amount of balance. That's the thing that sticks out to me every time I smoke this one. As I come to the end of the bowl, it's just a great amount of balance with the Virginia, the rum. Although the rum starts to take a little bit of a backseat towards the end, the Virginia and the Dark Fire Kentucky are really playing very, very nicely. And I find that oftentimes Dark Fire Kentucky, particularly towards the end of the bowl, can take over a blend and become a little too prominent and sort of push everything aside and become the main player, but it plays very nicely with the Virginia and the remnants of the rum topping. The finish, I find, is strong, bold, smoky, and sweet, with the Dark Fire Kentucky continuing to build with each puff, but the Virginia still absolutely holding its own and just creating a wonderful sort of crescendo of flavor to the end of this bowl. And this will probably it will be a continuing sort of theme being brought up when I review GLP's blends, because to me, to my taste, no other blender puts a product out that has such a consistently wonderful finish as his blends do. They're just consistently absolutely great. Okay. What do I think? I'm going to go ahead and give my personal sort of take on this one, aside from just the flavors. What do I think about this overall? I think this is an absolutely fantastic blend. I bought the tin around Christmas time, a little bit before Christmas time, and I waited to open it. I opened it probably the last week of July, and wow, what a wonderful summertime smoke. It's strong, but it's also holds up well in humid weather, in hot weather. It's just a wonderful, a great smoke. Pairs really well with rum or scotch, or even a beer. Really a wide array of beverages that you could pair with this one. The strength, I find, is medium to strong, and if you're not acclimated to nicotine, don't be surprised that this one kicks your ass a little bit. The smokability, extraordinarily smokable stuff, really nice. Almost no fatigue whatsoever, and if you're putting smoke in your mouth, at least if I'm putting smoke in my mouth, I'm going to get a little tiny bit of fatigue, but this is just like barely anything, and certainly nothing even approaching tongue bite. Okay, now let me go ahead and give this a final score. I'm going to put this, of course, in the whatever slot. You could put this in the Weber slot, the Virginia Burley slot, or just a Navy Flake spot, whatever. Either one of those categories, I would probably give this one the same score, and that would be an 8.9 out of 10. Very high score. Very, in my opinion, this is going to go in the cellar. I'm going to start, trying to stock up as much of this as I can, because it's just a wonderful blend. And I don't necessarily see myself smoking a ton of it over the wintertime. I could definitely see this one becoming just a every single summer, big time summertime smoke. So, yeah, lovely stuff. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it to any of you out there who enjoy their Virginia Burley blends, their Navy Flakes. Go ahead, give this one a shot. I don't think you'll be sorry. Okay, well, I think that about wraps this one up. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope you're all doing really well out there. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Take it easy, everybody.